WFRV TV Local 5 presents a special edition of Local 5 News at 6, a salute to veterans. This program is brought to you with limited commercial interruption by Georgia Pacific, making life simple necessities. Nicolay National Bank, real people, real conversations. Window World, simply the best for less. Mills Fleet Farm, serving America's heartland since 1995. And now, Tom Zalaski and Aaron Davison.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Our live presentation, as you just saw, a 21-gun salute by the Vietnam Veterans of America at the Brown County Veterans Memorial Arena. Good evening, everyone. Happy Veterans Day to you and to all those who served tonight. We pay tribute to nearly 20 million U.S. veterans who have fought for our freedom.
Towns and cities across Northeast Wisconsin today honor the men and women serving on the front lines. Local 5's Melaine Wells joins us live at the Brown County Veterans Memorial. Melaine?
Well, Aaron and Tom, as you mentioned, celebrations were taking place across our viewing area today, but no matter what community you visited, the message of thanks was always the same.
We have everything that we have, every freedom that we have, every day, every choice that we make. We have those for only one reason, and it's because of the ladies and gentlemen of the armed forces who've gone before us.
In Appleton, a standing room only crowd saluted veterans from every branch of the military. The music brings back memories, mouthing the words to songs that sum up their love of country.
It makes me feel very proud and very grateful.
It's a day of storytelling.
I have to be honest, I really do enjoy the different era of veterans. It's definitely a difference and definitely unique for each era, and I enjoy that.
There's somewhat of a disconnect today because we're losing so many heroes from World War I, and even now we're starting to lose the Vietnam veterans, the Korean veterans. They take with them, every one of them that passes on, takes with them such an important part of our history.
Keeping that heritage alive is one reason Fox Valley schools hold a student art competition each year to celebrate Veterans Day.
My grandfather was a veteran, so it kind of means a lot to me to take part in Veterans Day.
A connection to the military that shows in his artwork. This picture earned Samuel the $100 grand prize and a deeper appreciation for vets.
I like to thank them for everything they did for our country.
A thank you that wasn't always there.
In the Vietnam vet, we weren't treated very well, but we've kind of forgotten about that or tried to forget about it. We've been treated pretty well.
Generations of veterans inspiring the men and women who now wear the uniform.
The freedoms and the privileges that we have are very important, and I think it's very important to maintain those and be willing to fight for that.
A solid salute to the men and women who all gave some for the red, white, and blue. And while today's event in Appleton honored all veterans, it actually marked a very important anniversary for World War I. This year marks 100 years since that war began. Keeping it local in Green Bay, Melaine Wells, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Melaine. Over the years, the Packers have had their share of ties to veterans and the military.
And one current member of Green Bay's coaching staff literally carried the flag for our football franchise.
Sports director Burke Griffin has the story of the difference one man made for the entire country.
It was an iconic sports moment and one of football's most historic places. At a time when our nation's pride was somehow both big and small.
It was special. It's anytime we get to come together and rally, and football is such the great platform for it. To use football to bring something more important to the game, to come together as a team, to come together as a community, come together as a nation.
On September 24th, 2001, the United States was less than 2 weeks removed from being attacked on American soil. And on Monday Night Football, it was a former Air Force grad leading the charge for the Packers across the entire stretch of Lambeau Field.
I was psyched. I knew I was going to run out there in some way. I knew I wasn't necessarily presenting the colors like we do back at school. So I think when I hit it, I'm getting pumped up thinking about it now, and I don't want to start, getting too amped, but it really was about the energy of the situation, the energy of the environment. I just rode the wave that the fans created.
Gizzy played in Green Bay for 2 seasons as mostly a backup linebacker and special teams player, but it was that one night and moment that gave him more than his 15 minutes of patriotic fame, combining leadership both on and off the football field.
Building confidence and building esprit de corps, building a community around it, that's as important as building the physical body. When it comes down to it, the muscle between your ears, if you want to call it that, is always going to be the strongest muscle, as well as the one beating in your chest. So I think it's a message that we want kids to learn playing the game of football. We want it to take with them the rest of their lives.
Gizzy is now an assistant strength and conditioning coach in Green Bay, and the journey back to Titletown has made a part of his life come full circle in many ways.
It's been an honor. It's been great to work in the strength and conditioning department here, to be a part of the coaching staff, a part of this community. I'm hitting it full bore, and I come to work with my hair on fire every morning.
With the Packers in Green Bay, Burke Griffin, Local 5 Sports.
Don't we remember? All right, thank you, Burke. The Military Veterans Museum in Oshkosh offers visitors personal stories of those who served. And in light of some of our country's most trying times...
Local 5's Heather Sawaski shares just a little of what you'll find there.
We think we have around about 500,000 individual pieces in our collection.
Ron Griffin calls it a work in progress.
And we're only open on 3 days a week while we develop a volunteer base.
The Military Veterans Museum in Oshkosh is home to donated artifacts from the Civil War all the way through Afghanistan. Military historian and museum archivist Griffin has gone through every single piece.
Bottom picture is the gentleman that this was made for.
Each has its own story.
We tried to show or to feature as many of the individuals who use this stuff out here. That's the important part about it.
Like this Wisconsin soldier who died defending our country in Vietnam.
I had to read through all of his letters that he had sent home to his mother, and it was pretty tough for me to go through and do them. It took me a long time to get through them.
A veteran himself, Griffin knows the sentiment and emotion attached to each piece. He often gives tours of the museum to other veterans. He says he knows they feel the same.
To see their face just light up a little bit, and some of them actually get teary-eyed and as they remember some of their friends and everything that are associated with those memories.
In need of more space, museum volunteers are raising money for a 64,000 square foot expansion, all in an effort to keep these memories alive.
We're here for that reason.
Keeping it local in Oshkosh, Heather Sawaski, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Heather. And you can find out more about the museum and how to donate on our website, wearegreenbay.com.
Well, Veterans Day, of course, is about recognizing those who have served in the defense of our nation.
But the fact is, there are families across Wisconsin that have loved ones serving today.
Now, tonight, we talked live with a soldier who is on the front lines.
Sergeant Justin Lindstrom is from Milwaukee, and that's also where his family lives.
And he joins us live right now via Skype from Afghanistan tonight. Sergeant, thank you so much for joining us this evening. You've been deployed there for some 3 years now. What's your experience been like in Afghanistan?
It hasn't been too bad. I've actually been here in Afghanistan for about 4 months, but I've been in the Army for about 3.5 years. My time here in Afghanistan has been fairly well. Not too bad of an experience.
Now, Sergeant, we know it's roughly 4 a.m. Wednesday there. How did the troops mark Veterans Day in Afghanistan?
We actually had a little celebration. They had the people at the DFAC make this huge cake that just had symbols of all the the Army, the Navy, Marines, and so on. And then we all just celebrated, just talking about how it's been to us and stuff like that. And we had everyone that works here has just been very excited, saying Happy Veterans Day, all that kind of stuff.
Sergeant, you say you've been in the service for some 3 years now. Any memories of past Veterans Days, or what influenced your decision to enter the military service?
Just paying it forward. You know, sacrificing a little bit of my time for what people before me have done. I've always loved just the military and the aspect about it. It's always something that my friends and family said that they could definitely see me doing. But you know, just pastimes, just being back home, it's just what everyone else does, you know, barbecue, hang out with family and friends, and just be thankful for what we have, you know, because that's why we do what we do, people in the military. You know, it's for everyone back home, and just so that way they can spend their Veterans Day however they would like, you know, whether or not, you know, they're going to hang out with family and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, just doing it, you know.
You just feel it in your heart. Well, Sergeant, speaking of your family and friends in Milwaukee, I imagine they're anxious to have you come home. When do you get to come home?
Oh, definitely. As far as right now, the timeline is to go back to the United States in March, but I'm actually stationed out of Fort Hood, Texas. So I'll go back there in March, and then probably about a month after that, I'll be able to actually go back up to Wisconsin and visit all the family and stuff.
Sergeant, it's 4 o'clock in the morning there. What's the rest of your day like? What happens when you wake up for real today?
It's pretty much different every day. I actually work for one of the higher guys as part of his security element. So I go out whenever they go out, you know. So tomorrow, an example, it'll be a pretty early morning. I probably want to go back to sleep now. But we'll go out. We'll meet with some of the key leaders around the area. Then after that, we have a couple flights to some other bases. And then I'll probably end tonight around 21, which is like 9 o'clock at night. I should be landing back here around that time, and that's where, you know, my day will end, so to speak. I'll probably get a couple briefs then, and, you know, get to sleep around 23, something like that.
It sounds like a long day. We thank you so much for getting up early with us, and we thank you especially for your service.
Thanks.
No problem. Thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. You know, it means a lot to us here to know that everyone back there supports us and support what we do and what we sacrifice.
Sergeant Justin Lyncham, thanks so much for rolling out of bed for us for our Veterans Day special. God bless you, and thank you for your service. Well, coming up, a program is healing veterans through the power of music.
But first, a special message from U.S. Representative Reed Ribble.
It starts with thank you, and in many respects, it almost ends with thank you. How do you, as an American citizen, reach out to a veteran and make sure that they know? And for some veterans, it might be a touch, a hug, a handshake, a tear. But more than anything, it's just walking up to them and simply saying thank you for your service.
You're watching Local 5 News with Tom Zalaski and Aaron Davison. And now, with Northeast Wisconsin's most accurate forecast, Chief Meteorologist Luke Sanford.
And as we continue our salute to veterans, we all know it's cold around here, so we thought it would be kind of nice to show some of the conditions around the globe. Of course, we've got troops stationed all over. Our first stop here tonight will take you right back into Afghanistan. We just were live via Skype from Afghanistan. It is chilly there. Keep in mind, it's about 10.5 hours ahead of us, so it's rounding about 5 o'clock in the morning there for Afghanistan. Clear and 39 degrees, and their weather right now sunny and upper 50s to wrap up the week. Our next stop will take us into Baghdad. There they are sitting at about 3:13 in the morning on Wednesday. Clear skies there, 46. Nothing too inclement right there, and looks like temperatures will be very summer-like there, as you'd expect, of course. 84 degrees, 85 as they get into the next weekend. Into Germany we go, and Ramstein Air Base, 46, cloudy skies right there. And it looks like things in Germany are a little bit more gloomy. They're going to see some rain showers and temperatures holding in the lower range of the 50s. All right, we're going to go all the way back into the Pacific, and look at this. Pearl Harbor. Right now, it is 2:14 in the afternoon. They're behind us by about 4 hours. It's 80 degrees, nothing but sunshine, and outside of a few rain showers, I think they can handle lower range of the 80s. So that wraps up our tour around the globe. Back home, it's been cold and snowy for some. Temperatures dropping down into the upper 20s and lower 30s across the area. Look at that, mountain down to 25 degrees. You get north and west of Green Bay, you got the snow on the ground, and a lot of it once you get up toward the UP Wisconsin border there, close to 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground right there, and then you get into the UP, and there's as much as 2 feet of snow just west of Marquette. You add in the wind, we avoided the shoveling. We're not going to avoid the wind chills. Look at this, 18 degrees. That's what it feels like in Sturgeon Bay and Appleton. 21 degrees in Green Bay. Storm Team 5 live radar is scanning the skies. Outside of a few flurries, the threat for measurable snow has come to an end for at least the time being. Tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy and cold, and 18 degrees. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a few flurries, still cold. It's going to be frigid for a while. West winds at 10 to 20 with a high temperature near 30. The wind chills will be in the teens and 20s all day long. Here's the next 7 days from Storm Team 5 on this Veterans Day night. 30 degrees for your Thursday, breezy and cold. Sunny and cold for Friday, 28. Watching a snow chance for late Saturday going into Sunday. We might have to break out the shovels again, but it does not look to be enough to be a significant snowfall. We'll continue to update that for you. Behind that snowmaker, it gets cold with low 20s. Much more in our forecast at wearegreenbay.com.
Boy, some of those military base temperatures look pretty good, didn't they?
Oh, Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor
yeah.
especially.
Yeah, right here.
Absolutely.
Okay. We thank you, Luke.
Okay, guys.
We'll be right back. You're watching A Salute to Veterans on Local 5.
We think of values such as honor, duty, and service, and celebrate the sacrifice that each of our veterans have made. As we come together as communities and families to observe Veterans Day, I wish each and every one of you a happy Veterans Day.
U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin. A unique program right here in Green Bay is celebrating its 1-year anniversary this month.
It's called Guitars for Vets, and it's aimed at healing veterans through the power of music. Local 5's Evan Krugel has details.
2, 3, 4.
For many, music is a form of expression.
So you go to G.
A chance to find yourself while forgetting the outside world. But for Sergeant Joe Venetestein, music has been a second chance at a normal life.
As veterans, we're just people like everybody else. But when you open up the window shades, many of us, there's a dark hole there somewhere. You try to fill that with something.
You'll get there.
That hole has been open for 44 years, created while serving time in Vietnam. It's been a struggle trying to fill it, but last year, that hole began to close when he found Green Bay's Guitars for Vets program.
If you grab a hold of it, you can stay with it the rest of your life, and it can be a best friend, and it's become that for me.
The program offers veterans a dozen free classes and a free guitar.
It's in there somewhere.
Taught by instructor Dan Weaver.
I'd been thinking years back about doing some kind of volunteer work. Life always got too busy, of course. And then I thought, this is the perfect thing. Try doing this and put down your third finger first, like.
Weaver takes veterans like Venetestein and teaches them at their own pace.
Yep, and then you can add their other fingers later.
Working through physical and mental disabilities. All the while learning something about the true power of music.
For the first time, I'm seeing the healing power of music. I've seen it for myself, and that it's therapeutic for me, but on a whole different level for the vets.
Chapter coordinator Aaron Mendoza says it's the final result that makes the effort worthwhile.
You can see it on their faces, and it's very uplifting.
Venetestein can now play a couple tunes. Willie Nelson is a personal favorite and says the program is a powerful form of healing. He's one of 4 veterans who have graduated so far,
Finger pick it like this,
with 20 more on the waiting list to get in. He says vets who are timid should push fears aside and give music a chance.
Give it a try. That's all we can hope for, is that if it helps just one more, that's the best.
Keeping it local in Green Bay, Evan Krugel, Local 5 News.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Evan. The program costs about $200 per veteran.
So if you would like to find out more, or if you want to donate, we've got more information on our website. Well, coming up, the story of how one local high school coach turned his life around. You're watching A Salute to Veterans on Local 5. We'll be right back.
After members of Wisconsin's National Guard needed help obtaining back pay for days off that they were not able to take between multiple deployments, I worked with Congressman Ron Kind and others to ensure that this mistake was corrected and that our soldiers got the pay they deserved. It was the least we could do for our veterans. We are very proud and thankful for our veterans' service. Thank you for all you've done.
Retiring U.S. Congressman Tom Petri. Well, everyone has their own reason for joining the military.
For one local high school coach, it was the chance to turn his life around, which he's now sharing with the next generation. Local 5 sports reporter Ryan Rodig has the story.
You guys know what the word tenacious means? Everybody out! Tenacity. Mountain climbers, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know what that word means?
Preble East head wrestling coach Chris Dudley
3!
certainly does.
Not loud enough. 3! Keep going, keep going. 5, 4. Let's go, one more. That's tenacity. Not quitting on yourself.
7 years ago, Dudley made the decision to not quit on himself by signing up for the Marine Corps.
I had to change my lifestyle. I had to learn discipline. I went there to be a different person.
If he didn't, the 28-year-old admits he may have ended up in jail or worse.
Drugs and alcohol was a big thing, you know, not having the right attitude. Just a menace to society, as I'd put it. One day I woke up, went to the recruiter's office, and then a week later I was getting shipped off.
So 2 years after graduating from Green Bay Southwest High School, Dudley found himself with a fresh start at boot camp.
It's not as physically demanding as you would think, more mentally demanding. Always yelling in your face. Planks, planks, planks! Bringing chaos and making you have to think. You know, I always say to my guys, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
And he'd have to put that mentality to use 7 months later when he was deployed as a rifleman in Iraq.
I did good enough to where they thought I could be competent enough to run a squad, sent me to a squad leaders course, came back, got my own squad, controlling and coordinating, you know, fires. And I was in Afghanistan in 2010.
Dudley calls his time there a life-changing experience.
You see your first casualty, not the enemies, but your brothers. And, you know, there's a rage that fills that you can't really describe, and, you know, but again, slow, smooth, fast. That's how I approach things, and some things you can't unsee.
Dudley returned to the States with not only a new attitude, but an appreciation for life and the ability to share what he learned with high school football players at his alma mater in 2011, helping coach the Trojans on the sideline and get them in top shape for a historic run.
Those guys got the business, and you know, it paid off. It paid dividends because we made it to the Final Four, and then it transitioned. You know, then we ramped it up that next summer, and you know, won the conference first time in what, 37 years.
For a lot of kids, 3:30 is just the time they leave school, but for the Preble East wrestling team, 3:30 is known as Dudley time.
Do one more for Preble. One more for Preble. One more for Preble.
A 2-hour period dedicated to mental toughness, something their head coach is transferring from the Marines to the mats.
It's tough. It's supposed to be. Investing your time, and that's the other thing. Like, you know, I got 2 hours. When I get done with work, I come here and try to mentor kids and try to still implement the same leadership and teamwork values. You have to learn to survive in order to prevail in a match. So I just give them that extra DI kick in the butt, you know. Push-ups, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go!
Something Dudley says he needed and the Marine Corps provided.
That's tenacity.
Leaving him with a lasting message.
Not quitting on yourselves.
To share with others.
Slow and smooth, smooth and fast.
Keeping it local in Green Bay, Ryan Rodig.
Let's go, one more for the wrestling team.
Local 5 Sports.
Tenacity.
Wonderful story. Thanks, Ryan.
We'll be right back.
For many of us, is a veteran whose name we know, a father or grandfather, a sister or uncle. These are the finest among us, Americans who said they would stand strong between danger and the country we love. For me, it was my father and father-in-law, my cousins, a nephew, and many friends. We are blessed that so many are still with us so that we can sincerely thank them.
Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, and we thank you for joining us for this Salute to Veterans.
We'll see you back at 10. We'll leave you live now with a look at the Brown County Veterans Memorial.
This has been a special edition of Local 5 News at 6, a salute to veterans. This program was brought to you with limited commercial interruption by Georgia Pacific, making life simple necessities. Nicolet National Bank, real people, real conversations. Window World, simply the best for less. Mills Fleet Farm, serving America's heartland since 1995.